documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Good evening, Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel, and I'm very, very happy to be here this evening to bring you up to speed with the latest revolving around the world of sports. On today's edition of the show, we shall take a look at the Heroes 2024 tournament in Germany. It kicks off today, and we're going to be seeing Germany and Scotland, of course, in the first game of the competition today by 8 p.m. So we'll take a look at all that you need to know about the Euro 2024 in Germany, as well as other stories revolving around the world of sports. This event promises to be an exciting edition of the show, and we'll urge you to sit tight as we're ready, of course, to unravel all that you need to know about the Euro 2024. Take a short break now, and when we'll come back from the break, we'll bring you everything about the Euro 2024. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Greenwood's went for goal. Goalkeeper missed it. Right again. Oh, fight for him. He does the right hand, and down goes the ball straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on. So now this is when they're at their best. That's when they're 12 years minutes. So drink it in. Still goes through on New Zealand. What he loves to be immortality as an athlete. 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought a very family. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Today we're talking about the Euro 2024 tournament that will be kicking off today in Germany. And joining me to do justice on today's edition of the show is Emmanuel Michael. Good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening to you. Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers out there. Always a delight to talk sports.
And joining us virtually on the show this evening is Ipalibo Kingsley. You're welcome to the show, Ipalibo.
Yeah, good evening, I'm Kingsley Emmanuel. Good evening also, Emmanuel Michael. It's a wonderful time, to join you guys. Though not physically, but virtually. I'm so wonderful to be here once again.
Thanks very much for joining us, Ipalibo. Very happy, of course, to have you on the show. So, Michael, it promises to be an exciting one, taking a look at, the organization so far for the Hero 2024. What do you make of, the tournament this time around?
Well, talking about the organizational structure, I think I may want to say yes, everything is under control. Preparation going as planned, because we haven't heard of any security challenges, which is very, very key for hosting a very successful event such as Euros, which for me I think is a plus. Then again, I think the local organizing committee, talking about the LOC, they have also gone further to be able to cushion the effect of activities of some persons, maybe due to their businesses and all of that, and that is why the authority have also doled out a heavy amount of money for the communities out there, so that within the period where these Euros will be on, most of them that the activities have been hampered courtesy of this Euro will also, take solace from the financial gift from the authority out there, which makes it even more exciting. Then again, about 10 different stadia out there where this game will be hoisted. What this means is that they are trying to carry everybody along. The first time that Germany hosted the Euros was when they were, maybe want to say that they were not united then. We have the Western Germany and the, Northern Germany then. That was 1988. But this is the first time they will be hosting the Euro in unification, and that is why they deem it necessary to pick 10 strategic stadia, that will host this one to mark that unification of Germany. I think for me it's been a very wonderful one. Then again, talk about the transportation arrangement. I think everything is properly where you have fans going to the stadium as much as 8 o'clock, finishing the game by 10 o'clock or thereabout, even 11. You still have, the time to also come out from the stadium, board the train, get and head back to your house very peacefully without, having a fear of security challenge, which is quite contrary to what we have in this part of the climb, where when you go out to watch night games, it looks as though you are risking your life, because you are not even safe, not to talk about your electronics gadget, maybe your phone, your hand, your other electronic equipment, which some of these hoodlums and gangsters try to take away from you when especially coming back late. So some of those security challenges is thing of the past. Everything is organized impeccably in the way and manner that it will suit your convenience. Accommodation, transportation, security, well, these are key that makes up any organization to be very, very effective for hosting any major tournament out there. Then again, you talk about the infrastructure-wise, I think top-notch. This is just 10 out of many of the qualified states that are out there in Germany that they should have hosted this competition. So I think the way and manner they go about the Euro, the organizational structure, I think for me, it's a clear indication that they are head and shoulder above Africa. But then again, I think we'll get there. Well, I think it's been an impressive preparation so far. Most of the team have arrived. They are settling down very well. Accommodation is not an issue. Security is not an issue. So for me, I think we are getting to go and we are ready, to kick start at 8 o'clock this evening, where Germany will be playing the first game.
Impressive one. Let's see how it goes. You can see the beautiful stadiums, down there that the matches, of course, will be played. The Hero 2024 kicks off today with 4-week festival of football taking place in Germany to determine who will be crowned European #1. 24 teams will go to battle, but only one were made victorious at the European Championship. The teams have been split into 6 groups of 4, with the top 2 teams in each group booking their spots in the last 16, along with the 4 best third-place finishers. From the last 16, the competition will be a straight knockout until the winners are crowned in the final. at the Olympian Stadium in Berlin come July 14 this year. Should any knockout game be level after 90 minutes, then 30 minutes of extra time will be required to determine a winner. If the tie is still level, a penalty shootout will decide the outcome. But let's take a look at the group now. In Group A, we have Germany, we have Scotland, and we have Hungary and Switzerland in that group. Ipalibo, what do you make of about Group A?
Yeah, you look at that group, and that group looks like a very easy group for Germany. But when you look at it based on current happenings, in football right now, you see that this is not a group for Germany. You look at the likes of Hungary, and what Hungary was able to do in the last Euros, they were able to knock out the same Germany team, and also was able to get results like Portugal, and go on to the next stage. They have proved to be an underdog when it comes to the Euro. They have proved to show their strength when it comes to European football. And don't forget that when it comes to Euros, you can't underline and you can't just look away from the underdogs. In Denmark in 1992 and also in 2004 will give a clear example of why you shouldn't overlook countries like this, because they have nothing to lose and they are always going all out with passion in their heart. This team knows each other. They have some key players, talking about the likes of Hungary. Hungary has Dominic Sloboza from Liverpool. He has been able to do very well this season from Liverpool. We've known him back in his days for RB Leipzig, and he has been fantastic. And also you look at Scotland, also in that group, Scotland, the likes of McGinn and Billy Gilmore and the rest of Ivan Ferguson. These players have been key players, in the English Premier League. So you look at these teams and look at the group as a whole. It's a very complicated group. You can look at it and say it's not going to be a tough group for Germany, but I can assure you it's going to be a very, very tough nut for Germany to crack. And I see Germany coming out alive, but it's going to be between, Scotland and Hungary. Talking about Switzerland has shown, to be a very strong footballing country. Talk about their captain Granit Xhaka, his heroics with Bayern Leverkusen, went invincible with Bayern Leverkusen side. They also have a lot of fantastic players, but I think a bulk of that team that we know to be very dangerous are going into that retirement stage. They are getting older, so I think it's going to be difficult for Switzerland, to keep up with the pace of football. Looking at the likes of Germany and Scotland and Hungary with the pace of players they have, I think it's going to be very difficult for Switzerland. But I still think that group is very, very complicated and very competitive. But I still see Germany coming through, and the rest of the three teams maybe can fight for the second spot.
All right, let's see how it goes. Can Germany survive in that group? We keep our fingers crossed and see, how far they'll go this time around. But let's take a look at Group B, Michael, as we have Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania as well in that group. That's a very dicey group, Michael. Which of, where two teams, of course, will qualify from each of the group. Which of the teams you think will go through in this one?
Well, I think for me, looking at the group, in what so many persons might term as a group of death, because of the heavyweights that find themselves in the group, talking about the likes of Spain, the likes of Croatia, Italy, Albania. For Spain, I think they have youngsters, a mixture of youngsters, the likes of Yami Lama, Kubasi, Pedri. And then you have the mixture of experience, maybe the likes of Morata, Griezmann, Cucurella, and the rest of them. But then I think looking at Spain over the last 2 years down the line right now, we have not been able to see that Spain of 2010 World Cup, where they were very, very magnificent in the way and manner they were able to hold on to the ball, the way they were able to bring that club side, their identity into the national team. It's worked for them, but then they had players that was able to do that magic, the likes of Iniesta, Xavi, David Villa, Pedro, name them. But then I think over the recent years right now, Spain have not been able to hit that peak again. So I wouldn't go for Spain, but I would rather pick, for me, Croatia and Italy to go through from that group, because Croatia I think they've been very, very consistent in the last 6 years down the line. They got to the World Cup final in 2018, yes. The second World Cup, I think they finished third. And also you see that, that advancement, that improvement. Then again, they still have some of their, experienced players, the likes of Luka Modric, who might possibly be playing his last game for Croatian national team. Very, very good so far, winning the Champions League with Real Madrid. Luka Modric factor that brings into the play, likes of Perisic, Kovacic, just to mention but a few. So I think Croatia, they're a little bit formidable and they've been very consistent in the last 6 years. Then again, for Italy, they are the defending champion. And when you come up against the Italians, despite the fact that they may not be boasting of some of the big names, though they have one or two good quality players, or big names rather, in their rank, but then I think you can't take away the spirit of the Italian when it matters most. When the chips are done, that is when the Italians come up very clutchy, to do the needful. So I think for me, Italy is a very compact team, coached by an experienced coach who have seen it all, who also understand the Italian football. So I'm tipping Italy and Croatia to go through, despite the fact that I have a soft spot for the Spanish national team. But I just think that this time around, going by their recent record and results, I think they are down below the pecking order for me. So that is why I'm going for Croatia and Italy.
A very dicey group, and we'll see who, of course, will get through in that particular one. A group that contains Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. We'll see who gets through in that one. But for Group C, we have the likes of Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. Ipalibo, everyone, of course, take a look at that group. It seems to be an easy group, for the English side. Do you think so?
Yeah, it seems to be an easy group for England. Surely, looking at the line of teams there, it's you have a 90% belief that England is going to come out of that group alive. But I'm just saying, hear me out. We shouldn't write off their opening, the likes of Denmark and Slovenia and the rest of them are not the team we should just look. You should just look away from. But England, looking at this group, I think England would be very happy they found themselves in this group, because this is the golden team of England. They have the best of players right now. They have a current player who they talking about Jude Bellingham, that team. They have the likes of Bukayo Saka and Foden, who was the Premier League Player of the Year this season. Harry Kane was doing fantastic, won the Golden Boot, in Europe this year. You look at other players; they are so spoiled for choices. You look at the current set of players that couldn't even make the Euro squad. It tells you how England has been blessed this period, with a lot of players. But the problem has been, being able to harness this talent together, being able to use these players together, to get the best of results. We saw them in the 2018 World Cup. They got to the semi-finals. In 2022, they got to the quarterfinals, losing out to the eventual finalists. I'm talking about France. And now coming into this one, they got the previous tournament, they got to the finals but couldn't win it and get one. They have been getting so close to winning this tournament and they haven't gotten it. So I think there's going to be desperation in the side of this English team, which is going to be perhaps their downfall, because I think the coach, talking about Sad, is on a lot of pressure to perform right now, and I think that is not really good. But talking about this group as a whole, I see him coming out. I see England coming out, number one in this group, and Serbia and talking about Denmark are going to fight it through. Look at this Denmark team. They have been a very compact team. Looking at them, what they were able to do in the last Euros and what they've been able to accomplish. They have been able to do well. Coming in as an underdog, like I said earlier, in 1992, they were able to win this one. So I think we should not write off this team. Captain Christian Eriksen is back with the squad, after the unfortunate event that happened to him. And you look, talking about the Serbian national team, they have Mitrovic down there, who is a proven and a serial goal scorer. So I think it's going to be really tough, for that second spot in that group. But I still see them coming out.
All right, let's say it is. But Michael, do you think this could be the time, for the Three Lions of England, to lay their hands on a major trophy like this as well?
It should have been for them. It should have been a perfect time or perfect timing for them to lay hands on, major trophy after 1966. I think that is the last time they won a major trophy. 1966, where they actually hosted and win the World Cup. Ever since then, England have not been able to rekindle that spirit of a championship again, or winners mentality. Exception of late, when Gary Southgate took over. I think he's been able to do a great job, always coming closer but never getting to hit the bull's eye, which for me, I think that is the reason why the pressure is piling against him, that he must deliver. And when you take a look at the enormous talent that God has endowed with this England squad, not just this time around, Palebo talked about having maybe some of the golden generation in this era, but then over the years, England has always had golden generation. You can still remember the days of, Andy Cole, the likes of Peter Crouch, the likes of, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Rooney, Beckham, yet nothing to show for it. So over time, England has always been good in producing some of these great talents out there, but the ability of the coach to harness this team around and get a perfect result has always been their greatest bane. If not, they always have one or two players to talk about whenever they get to any major competition out there, but then they always never hit that bull's eye, and that is why for me I don't see England going far or possibly getting to the final, especially when we have other teams as well who are also doing pretty well, in their respective way. Talk about France. France has been very, very consistent in the last 8 years. Got to the World Cup final last time, unfortunately losing it to the eventual winner. Talking about, Argentina. Belgium, yeah, Belgium as well. They are also good on a day. They have a very good squad as well. These are some of the contenders. Italy not giving up as well. The host country, Germany, as well, also in the mix. Not also forgetting Portugal as well, who might also, spring surprises. So it would have been the perfect timing or perfect year for England to lay their hand on any major silverware. But taking a look at other teams, their strength and what they bring to the table, it even makes it even more difficult for England, to lay hands on the Euro this season. But then I think they have a chance only if Gary Southgate can get the best out of the talent that he has within his rank, because unarguably, you may say that, yes, England parade one of the best squad. Take a look at some of their key players. Harry Kane did pretty well so far for Bayern Munich this season, but then just that he couldn't cap it up with any major silver. Jude Bellingham in the mix for the Ballon d'Or, looking at his performance, for Madrid so far this season. Phil Foden did pretty well for Manchester City. We have Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka. These are some of Declan Rice. These are some of the players that have lighted up the Premier League, and there are different clubs out there. Aggregating some of all these players, for the Euro, I think it would be a perfect timing for them to win. But like I said, their greatest undoing is that other countries as well, they are also very, very formidable. Like I mentioned, Germany, France, Portugal, Belgium. So these are some of the things that England might just possibly need to contend, with, if they truly want to, lay their hand on this very one. And of course, before you be crowned a champion, you need to beat the best of the best, before you become champion. Not also forgetting Croatia, also in the mix. So I think it's just a very, very bad timing for England, despite the enormous talent that they are taking to this year's Euro. But other teams as well is also bracing up for the challenges.
We'll see how far, of course, the Three Lions of England will go in this particular one. Can Gary Southgate, of course, withstand the pressure and go all the way to, give England this particular one. But in Group D, we have the likes of Poland, Netherlands, Austria, and France. Hey, Palibo, what do you make of a Group D in this one?
This is a very tough group. I'm looking at it on paper. You have France in the mix, the finalist in the last World Cup, and two previous editions, the winner of the last World Cup. They have won this Euros 3 times in their history. And I'm talking about Netherlands, who is a very powerful country. You look at the kind of players Netherlands possesses, looking at their strengths. currently they have a lot of good players currently. Matthew de Ligt, they have Denzel Dumfries, they have a lot of good players. Talking about Frimpong from Bayern Leverkusen, Memphis Depay, who never gets old, and the rest of these players in this team, they have been really good, and this has been a side that has been together. Talking about the Netherlands team, with a coach that is familiar, with the brand of football that Netherlands is known for. Talking about Louis van Gaal. So I think it's going to be a really tough one. Poland also have the likes of Matthew Cash in the mix. They have the number one marksman for them. Unarguably, they cannot do without him. Robert Lewandowski. Also, they have Zielinski and the rest of them. These are players that also, on a good day, can cutting can do good for themselves, can do good for their team. Talking about Austria, I think talking about this group, they are going to be the whooping boys in this group. Looking at the quality and the brand of football that is in this group, Poland, Netherlands, and France. We've not even talked about France, who are spoiled for choices. The likes of Michael Olise didn't even make the list to the Euros. You look at Kylian Mbappe, you look at where he is now, just getting a move to Real Madrid, the best team in the world, and looking at the headspace is in right now, Usman Dembele, the rest of them. Also talk about in that defense, and where there has been a lot of competition, likes of Konate, Saliba, Upamecano, they have been fighting for those positions. And also, so I tell you that this is a very compact team, and also Kante coming back into this team, going to be a really fantastic one. I want to see how the coach will be able to, make the midfield up for them. Didier Deschamps has been at the helm of affairs for very long and knows this team. And these players respect Didier Deschamps. Also, Ruud, who is also a veteran in this team. So I think it's going to be a very tough group for the likes of Netherlands and Poland, but I'm very sure it's going to be easy for France. France are coming out of this group, but I want to put my money on Netherlands, because you look at how Netherlands have been able to perform when it comes to this kind of competitions, when it comes to tough competitions, Euros and World Cup. Netherlands, looking at the last World Cup, the previous World Cup, Qatar 2022, they were beaten in the quarterfinals by the eventual winners of the competition, and that tells you a whole lot. And it wasn't easy for Argentina. They gave Argentina, it was a tough nut to crack for Argentina. So they have been in the right space, getting to the Nations Cup finals. So in the previous Nations Cup finals, only losing out to Italy. So I tell you, this has been a very good Netherlands team. So I reckon that it's going to be France, and Netherlands coming out of this group alive.
All right, let's see how it goes. Polyball saying that France, will come out alive in that group. We hope they do so at the end of the day. But in Group A, we have Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. Michael, that seems to be a little bit of an easy group for the Belgium side.
Yeah, on paper, I may want to say yes. It looks very, very easy for the Belgian side, but then we know that upset is bound in football, especially at this big stage. Most of these teams that on paper, people write them off, they may also want to prove a point, just like what we saw in the African Cup of Nations, where most of the teams that are relatively unknown, that people, did not go for to get that far in the African Cup of Nations, they went very far and proved so many doubters strong. Even some of the favorite countries who couldn't even make it to semi-final or even quarter-final. The likes of Morocco, who were even the first country to arrive, the host city, couldn't even make it through the group stage. Egypt as well, Tunisia, name them. So in football, you cannot rule out upset, though Belgium is highly favored on paper. Bookmakers, octopus, analysts are actually all the odds is going in their favor to at least come out alive in this very one, if I must use the word of a Palebo. And I hope that they are going to come out alive only if, 100% concentration is given. Because in football, if you underrate your opponent, you are going to do that at your peril. Before you discover you are already knocked out of the competition. So if all things being equal, I see Belgium as well as being the favorite first before we talk about any other country that will follow them and progress through.
All right, let's go. But Belgium, I think they've actually struggled over time. I don't know if probably maybe they have gotten back their form. But
yeah, even when we talk about them having their golden generation, when you have the likes of Eden Hazard, Togan Hazard, even when they were in the peak of their game, yet they failed to hit up that peak to get to that Rubicon where we say yes, they have been proven many doubters wrong. They couldn't even achieve something tangible, even when they had to assemble most of their key players, most of the squad that they have, 4 years ago. So I think for me, taking a look at Belgium from that old squad history, yes, you may want to say they will find it easy to progress through. But Belgium, can they be able to replicate that same fine form we know of Belgium in the time past? It's a big question that they truly need to answer this year in the Euros.
All right, let's see how it goes. We hope for the best as well for the Belgium side. But in Group F, we have Turkey, we have Georgia, we have Portugal and Czech Republic. Ipalibo, what do you make of that group where you have Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo? This might probably be his final Euros. But first of all, the group.
Yeah, looking at this group, it's going to be a very easy group for Portugal. Looking at the position where they find themselves now, Portugal has been a team that has been on the rise, producing a lot of good players. Not talking about still able to reserve a lot of those quality and experienced players playing at the highest of level. Talking about the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bernardo Silva. These are players that are getting old but are still able to keep, that consistency. And also they have a lot of young talent. Matheus Nunes, who just got a move to Manchester City, and Ruben Neves and the rest of those players, Diogo Costa and the goalpost for them. So I think this is a very, very brilliant Portugal side that would not find it hard to come up with this group. And I must say, of all the biggest of teams here, Portugal has the easiest group, and also, they just have to fight against the likes of Turkey, Czech Republic, and Georgia. But I wouldn't be surprised if this same Portugal team would struggle, in this group, because a lot of those big players that I called, when it comes to the national team, some of them are not able to step up for the national team. Talking about, I would like to signal the player like Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva has been very, very good when it comes to club side, but when it comes to the national team, I have not seen Bernardo Silva to step up and carry that team on the shoulder. It's either probably a Cristiano Ronaldo, or if it's not Cristiano Ronaldo, it will be a Bruno Fernandes carrying the team. And sometimes you see a young game like Rafael Leao coming up to do the work. So I think we need to see other players stepping up, not just that you see players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Leao, trying to carry the team. And this is what has been, over the years, a certain particular player carrying this team, and if that player do not step up to the occasion, this Portuguese team is not able to perform. We saw it at the last World Cup. The last World Cup was Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes was the one carrying this team, and when Bruno Fernandes was not able to perform on that particular day against Morocco, they were knocked out of the competition. So I think it has to be a collective thing for this Portuguese team if they want to go find this tournament, and if they want to come out of this group. The last Euros, we saw how they struggled. They were in the same group with Germany, Hungary, and they struggled to come out of that group. Though Germany finishing last, that was why they were able to come out of this group. So you look at this Portuguese team when it comes to competition, apart from 2016 when they won their first ever trophy, their first ever European trophy or trophy whatsoever. It was a particular man, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, that was able to carry this team to the finals. So what I'm trying to say, the new coach in there, I'm talking about the former Everton coach, who was given the job, with the golden generation of Belgium, Roberto, to get the job done, get the holy grail for Belgium, and wasn't able to do it. Who does not have any major trophy to his hand, giving to manage a very good and compact squad. Talking about Portugal, I reckon it will be very hard for Portugal to go find this competition. But I think Portugal is going to come out of this group, and Czech Republic probably, or Turkey. I think the whooping boys in this group is going to be Georgia.
All right, let's see how it goes. Portugal being favorites, of course, in that group. But Michael, talking about Portugal, Palibot talked about one man, talked about Cristiano Ronaldo, as he stand, and he's gearing up, for an unprecedented 6th European championship. He's also currently the only man to have played in 5 editions of the Euros. What do you make of his appearance this time? This might possibly be, his last outing for Portugal when it has to do with the Heroes?
For me, I think it might just be his last appearance in the Euros for this year, and that is why you see many fans who also is thinking in this same line of thought, make it very, very necessary for them to come scamper to even get a ticket to watch Cristiano Ronaldo train. Just for him to train alone, you need to see the kind of crowd and traffic that is causing out there in some of the shops and stores where this ticket is being sold out there. Fans are just willing to come and watch Cristiano Ronaldo, knowing fully well it might just be the last time he's going to grace the occasion when you talk about the Euros, and that is why they want to maximize the opportunity, make sure they field Cristiano Ronaldo to the core before he finally bows out of the big stage. So I think for me, he is the X factor for the Portugal team. I mean, his image, what he has brought to this Portugal team is not something I will talk about today, because we know how he was able to even, turn to a player and a coach in the 2016 edition of Euro, where after he got substituted in the final, he was still there on the touchline, dishing out instructions alongside the coach just to make sure that they win that very well. He's been very, very instrumental, a goal poacher, a record creator and destroyer in terms of the record that he has set for himself. 200 and something games played for the national team, 128 goals, massive. At his age, he's still very much fit and even fitter than some of the younger lads. It clearly tells you that this man has done a lot for this Portuguese national team. And I think for me, fans should just enjoy him right now. That is still very much on the stage, because this might just be his final appearance in the Euros.
All right, at this point, we'll take a short break, and when we'll come back from this break, we'll take a look at, star players in these Euros. I tell you, a lot of players on ground to showcase their ability, their talent, and we'll take a look at, some of them when we return from this break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and the happenings today, only on ATN.
Back as the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. We've been taking a look at the Euros 2024 tournament that kicks off today in Germany. Ipalibo, of course, we wanted to take a look at the stars that will be showcasing their skills in this particular one. We have the likes of Jude Bellingham, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Toni Kroos, and many of them. What do you make of the stars in this one, and what are your expectations from them?
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough one, especially talking about the good that is going to, take place in this tournament. A lot of iconic and credible goal scorers. You talk about the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, who has been the highest goal scorer, who's the highest goal scorer in the world or currently. And look at the likes of Harry Kane, who is the current Golden Boot winner in Europe. I'm talking about the likes of Kylian Mbappe, who has been able to carry the likes of PSG on his shoulder. Also, this French national team coming up as highest goal scorer, also in the World Cup. So you look at these different teams and looking at what they have been able to, these players, looking at what they've been able to do. Jude Bellingham, when it comes to the English national team, he has not really been that marksman for them. And also you look at the likes of Toni Kroos, who's playing his last tournament, for Germany. Is going to be, trying to make it to be iconic. The last he was not part of them, and this is going to be his last dance for the Euros, and I think he's going to try to make it a very iconic one for him. So I mean, there are a lot of stars. That is why players like Kylian Mbappe will be able to make some comments like saying the Euros is more competitive than the World Cup, because when you look at the quality of players that plays in the Euros, you can't compare it to some players that plays in the World Cup. So I think it's going to be really, really competitive, to try and get the best player in the competition and also the highest goal scorer in Euros.
All right, let's take a look at the aspects of the fans. We understand Germany is hosting a major men's football tournament for the first time since the 2006 World Cup, and there's been plenty of anticipation for the arrival of Euro 24 within the country. Now, an estimated 2.7 million fans are expected to attend the 51 matches across 10 stadiums, while each of the host cities have set up fan zones that are set to welcome some 12 million supporters overall. With Scotland facing the host in the Euro 2024 opener, their fans have been determined not to miss the opportunity to witness their side kick off a major tournament. Now, more than 200,000 supporters are expected to travel over to soak up the atmosphere, be it from within stadiums or just in and around the cities where their side plays. Accommodation in Germany for the tournament isn't cheap, and to cut down costs, hundreds of Scotland fans have descended on a campsite just outside of Munich. England, meanwhile, are expected to be back by about 300,000 supporters through the tournament, as they hope to witness their side live up to their tag as one of the tournament favorites and win a major men's tournament for the first time since 1966. In Gelsenkirchen, before England's first game of the tournament against Serbia on Sunday, which is tomorrow, on Sunday this weekend. Yes, 40,000 English supporters are expected, and security has been stepped up for a fixture German authorities have deemed to be high risk. Meanwhile, the street leading from Hamburg city center to Vespan Stadium are expected to turn orange on Sunday as the thousands of Dutch fans embark on their customary march to the stadium at major tournament. Orange supporters have followed the double-decker party bus to ground since Euro 2024, and this will be the 50th parade they have held. The Netherlands face Poland in their opening fixture. Michael, the fans are not left out from this particular one. We have about 2.7 million fans, of course, will be in the match. 51 matches, of course, will be seen in this one.
Yes, in all of those things that you've said, one thing is stand out most, which is that there will be mammoth crowd, fans turning out in their numbers. Just a simple word to encapsulate all of this is that many supporters will turn out in their numbers to support their various team out there. And this is made possible by the fact that securities are in place, which I mentioned earlier, accommodation very good, transportation very okay. So these are some of the key things that have made it very, very easy for fans out there planning now, hoping, wishing, willing to turn out in their numbers to cheer their different teams, to victory there. I think you can only get that when you've actually put the necessary things in place which of course it is what the LOC have done, and that is why fans are willingly turning out in their numbers to cheer their different teams. We might possibly take a cue from what they are doing out there and also replicate it, because when we are taking a look at some of these good things, it's not about learning from our colonial masters, the one that suit us. We must also learn the good things and learn it the proper way, so that we don't get to learn and when we come here we fail to replicate the good things which we've seen of them. Because if we are learning the good thing from what we inherited from the overlord, I think by now Nigeria should be talking about having 10 standard stadia here in the country. Well, quite unfortunate that we're not able to learn that good aspect of it, and that is why we'll just have only one approved stadium here in the country, which is Godswill Obodo Akpabio International Stadium. So for me, I think it's a good one. All these things, like I said earlier, is made possible because of the fact that the necessary things are, put in place: security, transportation, accommodation. These are some of the things that makes it very easy. Because if you are being as a fan, you discover that when you get to the stadium, even no matter what time the match get to end, you still have the confidence of barging out of the stadium, board the train, head back to your home comfortably and safely. So you want to go and watch the game, other than maybe you discover that if you get to the stadium and the match finishes late, you're on your own. Coming back home, I think you are going to meet some of these men of the underworld, and that makes it very, very difficult. It scares fans, make them to rather sit at home and decide to watch on their TV screen other than going to live stadium. But for me, having large crowd at the stadium is also a way of boosting the morale and confidence of the players as well, to double their effort. It is the beauty of the game when you have large number of fans turning out on live, match day to watch their teams very, very, very live there.
Well, let's take a look at some of the stadiums that the games will be played at. Some games will be played at the Olympia Stadium in Berlin, and that stadium has 71,000 capacity. Also see the Cologne Stadium as well, which has 43,000 capacity, and the BVB Stadium Dortmund, and it has 62,000 capacity. Düsseldorf Arena has 47,000 capacity, and Frankfurt Arena has 47,000 capacity as well. I also have Arena, the Kings Stadium, which has about 50,000 capacity, and the Homburg Stadium, which has about 49,000 capacity. Leipzig Stadium has 40,000 capacity. Monica Football Arena has 66,000 capacity. And we have the Stuttgart Arena, which has 51,000 capacity. Ipaliba, I know you've seen some of these stadiums, and you've actually seen how beautiful they are. What do you make of the stadiums that have been put together for this one?
Okay, look at this stadium, this iconic stadium, looking at from what you said, the BVB Stadium down to the RB Leipzig Stadium, down to the Olympia Stadium, also Augsburg Stadium. These are stadiums that normally when it comes to games, even down to their club side, are full to the brim. So I think these are iconic. These stadiums, you look at the sizes, 71,000, 60,000, they have big amount of space that will be able to converge a lot of fans, into a place. It's a good thing, like Mike has said, when you have a lot of fans, in the stadium, it's a morale booster. Like they always say, that's the 12th man in football. Having that support from your fans is very, very important when it comes to football. So I think you look at how iconic the stadiums are, and if you listen to what Mike has said in the first stanza of the show, he talked about how they have been able to, since the unification of Germany, this is the first time Germany has hosted, the Euros, and they picked out strategic places, strategic stadiums, for these Euros that show and to identify unification. So I think it's a really, really good one from the German side. It is well planned and well staged. It's not going to be, talking about transportation. Transportation is not going to be a problem, talking about in this tournament. And also, I think it's a really good one that we've been able to see a well composed, tournament like this. It's been a long time, it's been a while since we did a tournament. I think the one at Wembley, when you talk about organization, cannot be compared to the. Yes, talk about publicity and the hype. Wembley had it more, England had it more. But when you talk about the organization, how things has been gone about, I think Germany has done it better than the English side.
Michael, still talking about the fans. Some key players will be missing in this one. Premier League, players, to say the likes of Erling Haaland, which of course his country, talking about Norway, didn't qualify for this particular one. You talk about Alexander Isak as well. He's another player that won't be in this one. Martin Odegaard is another player that won't be in this one. This will be a very huge miss, for from the aspect of the fans.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it has to do with EPL fans out there, because these players, some of them, most of these names that you mentioned, they are very familiar with some of these names. Why? Because they apply their trade out there in the EPL, which is arguably one of the best leagues. And you take a look at their publicity level, is very high, top notch. And the time and weather where they played their games, the EPL games, is more like it favors the African countries, because by 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at most 8:45, I think then children might still be very close to their parent watching some of the EPL games. So, and that is why some of these kids and fans get in tune, get glued with some of this name, because they are familiar with this name. They watch them week in, week out in the English Premier League, compared to other leagues when they air their games. Mostly, maybe by then, some of the kids, some fans out there have gone to bed. Like the La Liga, they are just trying to adopt that measure where they try to fix games in a favorable time, especially for the continent of Africa. If not, then in the 1998, 2000, 2001, I think the La Liga, most of the game, you see it going by 10 o'clock, 10:45, at some point 11. By then, how many people do you expect to be awake watching such game? Then you talk about the Ligue 1, the publicity out there is not also okay. And that is why most people does not follow the... When you talk about the German Bundesliga, there's a little bit of followership. And you talk about Italian Serie A, a little bit of followership because of the media, the publicity, the hype given to it, and the time when they play their games. Most times it's not favorable with us in this part of the climb. So kids out there, you get to ask them the name of Manchester United players. They can literally mention from 1 to 10. Ask them about Chelsea players. They can mention from 10 upward. Arsenal, they can roll out this name. Man City, they can roll out player's name, because of the timing, because of the publicity we are tuned with. So definitely some of these names will be missed.
All right, some of this name will be missed. Let's quickly take a look at the prize money. Participation fee here is 9.25 million, and group stage win is 1 million euros. Yes, 9.25 million euros is the participation fee, and 1 million euros is for group stage win, and group stage draw is for 500,000 euros. A round of 16 qualification is 1.5 million euros, and quarterfinal qualification is 2.5 million euros. Semi-final qualification is 4 million euros. Runner-up is 5 million euros, and the winner, of course, will go home with 8 million euros. Ipalibo, your take on the prize money of the Hero 2024?
Yeah, I think the prize money is fair compared to other continents in the world. Talking about South America, talking about the North American, the Caribbeans, talking about Africa as a whole. Looking at Euros, and this is why Euros gets more publicity, and they are able to get the publicity they want and the viewership and followership they want their tournament, because the Euros, the Europeans are able to invest more when it comes to football. They take it as an investment and as a business, not just as an entertainment. So I think looking at the prize money they paid, looking at just participating in the tournament, you get 9 million euros, which I think is a huge money. And talking about going through the competition, going and qualifying from the group stage, 1 million. Getting to the round of 65, 1.5 million. So I think it's a really good one that we're seeing money being invested into competitions and footballing tournament like this, and that is why when people see a lot of these players complaining about the timing and how they are not able to rest, people make an argument about the kind of money they are able to make and the kind of money they receive from games and tournament politics.
All right, we have to call it a wrap up at this point. It's been an impressive time talking about the Euro 24. Kicks off today. Germany will be national against Scotland. Promises to be an exciting one by 8 p.m. Michael, we have to leave now.
Yeah, definitely. We do have to leave.
Palibo, thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right, sir. My name is Kingsley Manuel. Thanks for watching.